Welcome to the Vision office in Vancouver, or actually our Vision flat in Vancouver.
We are Daniel, Matthias, and I'm Manuel.
We have a lot of customers around the world who want to 24/7 support. We have a lot of customers in Europe that want their system, at least during business hours, up and running. And we need some time to do maintenance, to upgrade their systems, to do changes and migrations. And to be honest, I don't like to work at night. And neither does Manuel, neither does the rest of our company. We were sent to Vancouver to figure out if this is a good spot to have a new office.
We've come here with four main goals. Number one, figure out how communication between Vancouver and our main office in Zurich works. Number two, figure out how the job market and the IT landscape in Vancouver looks like. Number three, figure out where in Vancouver it would be interesting to open shop and where the interesting places to live are. And of course, number four, networking, getting to know people and meeting all kinds of IT people.
Our mornings usually start with meetings.
First order of business for me is usually the stand-up meeting at 7 a.m.
In my squad, we didn't do a daily stand-up call. We had a weekly sync call with the squad master and me. There we discussed the open tickets and what work I have to do this week.
All in all, coordination works pretty well. We plan and coordinate all of our work using tickets anyway, and that works no matter from where you're working. The biggest challenge is stuff that is discussed in person and that is not transferred to a ticket. Then again, this is also valid if you're working from home office.
After having a good sip of coffee and a breakfast wrap in Tim Hortons, we go to our office. We're renting 3 desks in a co-working space here downtown Vancouver. Manuel will take you through his day.
One of the biggest parts of work here is, of course, maintenance. We are 9 hours behind the Zurich time zone, which puts the nightly maintenance window in our afternoon, which is perfectly. This also means that in that time frame we can do a lot of work that needs to be done outside office hours, for example, changes and rollouts and stuff like that. One of the biggest advantages of doing maintenance during the day is that I don't have to work such long hours. And as you can imagine, it's hard to concentrate after such a long day. Another advantage of doing maintenance work throughout the day is that we can offer our customers maintenance windows throughout the week and not just on Tuesday evening. The next thing we do a lot here is incident handling. Right now we've set it up in such a way that the on-call engineer from Switzerland would forward the alerts to us. Final plan is that during our workday, no on-call alert gets sent to the on-call engineer at all. And we can handle all the alerts during our office hours.
My daily work consisted mostly of updating offers, keeping in contact with the customer, sending mails. Once the tickets were up to date, I focused on organizational things that I never have the time to do at home. Obviously, I didn't came here just to do customer work and just to do product description and things like that. My main focus here was figuring out how we're going to set up an office. What does it take? To whom do we have to talk? How are you incorporating a company here in Vancouver? I had a lot of meetings with different people, but I will come back to them in a minute.
A big plus to work in Vancouver is, of course, the maintenance. For the maintenance work in Switzerland, they start about 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and at 6 o'clock in Switzerland, it's already 9 o'clock in the morning in Vancouver. Then I can take over the maintenance part from the Swiss Visioneer. It helps a lot that I can do the maintenance freshly during the daytime and don't have to wait until the evening after perhaps a long working day to do the maintenance.
One of the biggest challenges we discovered is to stay in touch with the team back home. This was to be expected. I mean, it's a lot easier to stay in touch with people in the same office than it is to stay in touch with people that are 8,000 kilometers away.
I think that is something we will have to improve on. We figured out a lot of problems. In that matter, I think the proof of concept was quite successful. We also find a lot of solutions to problems, but we also know there is quite a bit of work ahead of us. Communication with our headquarters back in Zurich is one point. Another communication challenge is communicating with customers. Since we have the same problem of delay of asynchronous communication with the customer, it makes it hard, and it means that you have to plan ahead quite a lot to get a meeting with a customer or to ask him a question.
This is especially a challenge if you here in Vancouver are working on a project with a customer back in Switzerland, as you only have about 2 hours of overlapping work times each day.
This brought us to the realization that for a future office here, we might focus our work on maintenance, on operations, and our engineering focus, our local engineering focus onto product development. Let's move on to the meetings we have. We will tell you a little bit where we have been and what the findings are. BC is very interested to push their economics, and they want to help foreigners to start working here, to invest here. So they were very keen to meet us and help us out with knowledge, with tips, with insights into the system. How is it to get to set up a company? What you have to do to hire people? What you have to do to get work visas? One of the interesting things is, other than other countries, Canada really wants to have skilled worker here. The question is less of if you get a work permit, at least in the industry we're working in. The question is more, which program is the right one, the cheapest and the fastest? We learned that for IT specialists, you can go down to 2 weeks to get a work visa, whereas in other industries it can take half a year until you get the work visa. We learned a lot. We realized the Canadian government is very helpful, and we look forward to work together with them.
Another goal of our trip here to Vancouver is, of course, to meet people and to network with the local IT community a little bit. To that end, we signed up to a lot of IT meetups. However, we quickly learned that meetups in Vancouver are a bit different to the meetups in Zurich, whereas in Zurich the talks are only a small part of the meetup, and the socializing and beer after the talks is like the biggest thing of a meetup. Here in Vancouver it's quite the opposite. There are a couple of talks, and once the talks are finished, everybody just gets up and leaves. I think the first meetup we went to was DevOps Vancouver. We planned to stay about 30 minutes after the talks, but after 5 minutes we were the only one in the room, so it's hard to network without other people. However, we were not completely unsuccessful. Of course, we also signed up to other meetups, and on those meetups we actually met quite a few IT people.
The third important point we had to figure out is, are there good IT people around here? We talked a lot about salaries and perks and job market with the people we met at these meetups. We figured out that yes, the salary is lower, that was to be expected, but also the perks are quite a bit lower, and the benefits. Another big difference is that most companies here hire you for a certain role and don't give you the opportunity to grow within the company. If they have an opening in a management position or anything where you can develop into, they prefer to hire from outside. This means a lot of people make what they call here diagonal jumps. They work for a year at a company, and then they jump to the next company, to the next higher role. This is a problem for us, because I want to hire people that will stay with us, where we can work with them long term. I was interested on how to achieve that, and I talked to some recruiters. What can we present to our employees to make a long-term work relationship with them? Our idea is to have a good salary and to give them the same benefits you have in Switzerland. One of the last things we have to figure out is Vancouver actually cool? Is Vancouver a good place to live? And we have Vancouver downtown, where we are right now, But Vancouver has also a lot of surrounding cities, be that Burnaby, Metrotown, New Westminster, Surrey. And we had to figure out where would it be nice to work, where would it be nice to live. For that, we actually traveled around Vancouver quite a bit and just got a feel for the places, got a feel for how does it feel to work there, how does it feel to live there. And we got to see a fair bit of Vancouver. To summarize it, everybody knows that I love Vancouver.
I still do.
Do you think it is helpful to have an office here? Is it a plus for our company?
Absolutely. I mean, if I look back at how many changes I could roll out in the last couple of weeks, changes that need to be done during nighttime, and also at how many on-call incidents we handled from Vancouver. So yeah, for me it's definitely a big win. So the guys back in Zurich could stay in bed.
Everybody knows this trip is about work, but work is not the only thing we do. For example, we found a really cool meetup group where you go first running for about 4 kilometers and the run ends at the best place a run can end.
In a pub.
Furthermore, we went to different pubs, to different meetup groups, and also on our own, and got to know quite a lot of people. Vancouver is a very international city. It is a good city to live, but because they have so many cultures, they're integrating people so fast and so quickly.
Which is quite opposite to Switzerland.
We went to the gym quite
More than
often.
once.
We also went running. Manuel did an accidental 12K.
Daniel can mostly be found watching NFL and CFL matches in a pub nearby.
And if that all ended up being boring for us, we could just hang around here in our nice flat and do the nerdy stuff we would do at home.
Anyway, thank you for tuning in. I hope you got a little insight into what we're doing here in Vancouver. And see you soon back home in Switzerland.
Bye.
Bye.